over the past 40 years, you know, my Republican friends are very, very worried. They're very worried about redistributing wealth. Oh my God, terrible. The answer is, and the truth is, we have seen a massive redistribution of wealth in this country over the last 40 years. The only problem is the wealth has gone from the working people and the middle class to the top 1/10 of 1%. Now, when you watch, you're here on TV, you're reading the papers, the Republicans are talking about throwing millions of people off health care, cutting nutrition, cutting education, and that's just because, you know, we're just a very, very poor country and we can't afford to do all these things. But you all know that we are the richest country in the history of the world, and we have never been richer than we are today. The problem is that the top 1% has almost all of the wealth. That's the problem. Now, I want you to listen to one more statistic, because I just learned this 2 weeks ago, and it blew me away. In the last 2 years, from 2013 to 2015, the wealthiest 14 people, not 1,400, not 14,000, the wealthiest 14 people in this country, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, the Koch brothers, those type of guys, their wealth in that 2-year period went up by $157 billion. In a 2-year period, their wealth increased by $157 billion. That is more wealth than the bottom 42% of the American people own, what these guys have received in the last 2 years. And I can tell you that my Republican colleagues in the Senate and in the House are adamant that these guys will not pay a nickel more in taxes. And we're going to deal with that. Now, in terms of income, we talked about wealth, which is what we accumulate over our lifetimes. In terms of income, which is what we made last year, in terms of income, the last information that we have, and this is just unbelievable stuff, it's hard to believe that this is America, is that since the crash of Wall Street, brought about by the greed and recklessness and illegal behavior of the people on Wall Street, since that time, 99% of all new income is going to the top 1%. All right? So what that means is, you know, you read in the papers, they say, well, our GDP growth was 2.5%. It was 3%. It was 4%. It doesn't matter for the middle class because they're not getting any of it. You're going to have GDP growth of 10%. It wouldn't matter much when 99% of all new income is going to the top 1%. Last year, the top 25 hedge fund managers on Wall Street made more income than 425,000 public school teachers. And all over America, in Vermont and I suspect in Texas, we're firing teachers, we're doing away with art. We just don't have the money to provide a good education to our kids, and yet 25 hedge fund managers made more money than 425,000 public school teachers. Today, corporate profits are at an all-time high, and CEOs earn about 270 times what their average employee earns. In terms of taxes, what you should know is that every single year we lose about $100 billion in taxes because corporate America stashes their profits in the Cayman Islands and Bermuda, other tax havens, refuses to pay taxes. 1 out of 4 major corporations pays nothing in taxes. In a given year, companies like Verizon, General Electric, Boeing pay 0 in federal income taxes. Warren Buffett was honest enough to say that in terms of personal income tax, he's a multi-billionaire. His effective tax rate was lower than his secretary's. Okay. Thank you. You're great. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Good.